Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl is a perfect game for this time of year. Right at the end of September, going into October, the weather's all overcast outside, the greenery's all dying, it's cold, it's raining and raining, at least for me, I live in Oregon, raining and raining, and it's just this perfect game, just right for the soft transition into the month of spook. It's got a dark, depressing atmosphere, it's pretty much raining and raining all the fucking time in the game, and there's like some really well crafted horror segments in here that come out of nowhere the first time you play the game. And I figured that since I was going to do an actual game review, not just talk into my cell phone, I should do it for the month of October because I love the month of Goosebumps, and every year I love to celebrate it by playing great horror games that are both old favorites and new pants pissers. So let's take a look at one of my all-time favorites, Shadow of Chernobyl. So the big thing with this is that in the beginning, the first 5 minutes of the game is shit. It sucks. It's this mission where you have to clear out a car park to get a USB drive off of somebody, and they equip you with this pistol that is shite and does nothing, and it awards you no points. And you have to fight off bandits with shotguns, and they kill you in like 2 hits if they're close because you have no real armor, and you have to spend a lot of time crouching and slowly peeking out of stuff, and it is really irritating. And if it is your first time playing this game and you have not looked into guides or anything, it will really fuck you up, and in some cases it's the thing that kills this game for my friends because they try it and they get irritated, and I don't blame them one bit. It is no good. So my big tip is going to be quick save anytime that you have a moment to breathe. Man, I really Goldblum that last fucking segment. I was just listening to that in the mixer, and it's like, oh yes, the game, it's difficult, and there's this car park where they have the shotguns, and your pistol, it just does nothing. It does nothing at all. I'm Jeff Goldblum, and I find my wife stockings intriguing. She just intrigues me, Sean Evans. After retrieving the flash drive and taking it back, you're told to go get some files from a research institute and take it to a barkeep. And you have kind of a long way to get there, and with a couple optional missions popping up along the way. The optional missions in this game usually boil down to helping defend a camp, finding an item, guiding somebody somewhere safely, killing someone specific, or getting information from somewhere. They're usually never boring, however, even though they can be kind of repetitive, since this game has a way of making even the smallest tasks kind of a life or death situation. And that's one of the great things about Shadow of Chernobyl, that the world doesn't care if you live or die, and you can be sure that if you do, somebody will just loot your shit and leave your fucking body there. The atmosphere in this game is oppressive in a very cynical, depressing kind of way. It's always dark and cloudy and harsh. Everything is falling apart and sinking into the ground, and there aren't any civilians or kids anywhere in the zone outside Chernobyl. It's just soldiers, stalkers, and bandits. And I'm not really going to get too into the plot of this game, but I do want to say there's a sequence towards the end of the game where you go into a facility underground. It is beautiful. So you have to work your way all the way from the top of the facility to the back, the very bottom, and you have to go down just story after story, and it's it's pretty long to get down. It's a very slow descent that goes through multiple rooms and winding paths, and there's a few of the monsters in there to kind of break it up, and they're put in these really great places where you have to walk very slow and pay attention to see if they're there, and if you let them sneak up on you and drop you, they will kill you. And you get to the end and you get the objective done, and then the level just switches from being this creepy, claustrophobic, does nothing. She just intrigued. Monster sneak around fight fest that is very intense in a horror, creepy kind of way. And then just the military starts coming in, and you have to fight your way all the way back up through these enemies who are just placed very well. And it goes from very quiet, subtle, creepy, shit my pants horror to like intense combat, freaking out, oh my god, there's these guys fucking everywhere. And it's two completely different types of intense on opposite ends of the intense spectrum, and it's all one level, and it just flows so beautifully. It's just like, it's one of the best levels in any first person shooter game I have ever played. and it's lovely. And it's not the only level that's like that. Once the game gets going, it just seems like it keeps getting better. It's almost like a snowball effect. Once you get past that first few hours and you get past that tunnel, it just starts to hook you into this deep, really rich game world. And I know I keep sucking off the atmosphere and game world and shit, but I feel like I just can't overstate how well crafted and original it is. And there isn't really a game in the world like it, and I just love it so much. I love the darkness and the rain and the guys sitting around the trash barrels that are all lit with the fucking fire and they're playing guitar, and I just like to pull up next to them and sit down and listen to that one song they all seem to only know how to play for some fucking reason, and I just sit back on my couch in real life, take a couple pulls of vodka like a good old cheeky preaky, and just soak in that environment and all the music. I do have a couple complaints, however, one of which is big enough I feel required to go into length about it, which is the endings of the game. So I promise not to spoil anything about how it goes down, but this needs to be mentioned just in case you haven't played the game and you're interested in doing so. So basically the game has true and false endings. The endings are based on whether or not you followed the main quest line all the way through, and if not, what kind of stalker you were in the zone. Now, when I first played through Shadow of Chernobyl, I had no idea that this was the case. I'm not much of a walkthrough guy. I like my game experiences to go into me dry, so when I first played this game, I didn't realize that if I didn't go to Straylock's stash before doing one of the other early game missions, I wouldn't be able to spawn a certain NPC that I need to talk to so I can complete the main story quest, which means I can't access the true endings of the game. So at the end of my first playthrough, I got all the way through the last segment, which is really well crafted, extremely intense, and it's essentially a perfect, what I believe to be a last level, only to get an out of nowhere, unsatisfying ending where it just cut to a cutscene. And so confused by this, I chose to finally open a guide to the game, only to discover that I would have to play through the game again and do it in the right order to get the true ending. And at the time, I wasn't really too upset about this because I had fallen in love with S.T.A.L.K.E.R and I just knew I would play it again, and when I did, I just followed the main quest line the right way, right? And see, but I was under the impression that completing the true ending just meant that I used an item to open a different door and get a different cutscene that was like a true cutscene where I learned about what the rest of the plot was. And when I actually did the final playthrough to get the true ending, I found out that it was not only a really cool interactive cutscene that I missed by this one little innocuous thing, but that there was another hour and a half to 2 hours of gameplay behind it, which consisted of the entire end sequence that is not only the longest end sequence in the entire game, but one of the greatest ending levels to any first-person shooter I have ever played. It is essentially a 2-hour-long final boss that's consisted of making your way out of the Chernobyl sarcophagus, but through the facility in this insane, kind of freaky, mind-bending portal way, while simultaneously, taking you through a series of these perfectly designed combat arenas whose intention are to put all the skills the game taught you through a final do-or-die test that pushes your skills to the absolute limit. From your aim to your cover skills to your flanking to your ammo, food, and medicine conservation to platforming, puzzle solving, and decision making, it's perfect, absolutely stunning, and I was a little bit pissed off that I missed out on this the first time I played Shadow of Chernobyl, because it elevated that game in my mind from excellent to almost perfect. And the only reason that this happened is because I chose not to do this little innocuous thing like the developers wanted. Besides that, though, and the aforementioned difficulty curve that makes the game kind of off-putting, I highly recommend S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl. It's beautiful, it's uniquely crafted, once-in-a-lifetime gaming experience that I love to come back to and just immerse myself in time and time again. If this looks like your kind of bag and you're in the mood for a good soft spook to guide you into spook season before you head into the super spooks, then Shadow of Chernobyl is definitely worth the time to check out. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're still here, I'm disappointed in you. Very disappointed. You're breaking your ma's hat. Breaking a hat. Quick disclaimer. I decided to make this review after my most recent playthrough of the game, and I don't have a lot of time to play games, so I stole somebody's footage, with, you can obviously tell, with this stupid fucking watermark. This is from SplatterCatGaming's Let's Play of it, which I recommend you go and watch. If you want me to waste more precious hours, you can tick that life away as you slip further from God. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button like the sheeple you are. like all the people in They Live who don't have sunglasses. Also, hit the stupid fucking bell, because YouTube puts that stupid fucking bell system in place. And if you don't know how, you won't know how I posted anything at all unless you search my channel manually, which you probably wouldn't do in good conscience. And if you do, then may God have mercy on your soul. Alright, bye.